Hi everyone, I'm Fabio for Higher Heads Project. Today I'm gonna show you the Boss Katana MK2 EX version. This new EX version is a combo amplifier solid state, there is no any tube inside, and it's called EX version, stands for expandable. So the EX version is a 50 watts amplifier, combo amplifier, and on board you have 5 different amplifiers with the variation knob. This means that you have basically a variation per each amplifier, and will change the character, will change the sounds, will change also the response. So basically you have 10 different amplifiers on board in your amplifier. This new EX version has onboard 15 effects, but you can achieve all the 65 effects from the Tone Studio software that I show you, of course, in a moment. So let's talk first of all about the new goodies that you have with the EX version. So basically this is an MK2 amplifier, and if you already know how the Katana MK2 works, it's basically the same amplifier. There are two basically updates. One is that now you have the line output, so you can go directly to a PA system in your live, and you can go directly to a mixer. You can change also the microphone, so also the position of the microphones in the 2D space, and this can be done through the software that I show you in a moment. Then the second huge update is this one. This is the new foot switch. This is called GAFCEX. The differences between this and the previous version is that here now you can unlock all the capability of this MK2EX, because here you can control up to 8 different presets. So as you can see here, you have channel 1, channel 2, channel 3 and channel 4, and here on board you have basically channel 1 and channel 2. So if you use the foot switch, you can unlock all the 4 different channels here. But with this foot switch you can control also a second layer. But I want to talk about this foot switch in a moment when I play something, okay? So it's better to understand for you. So these are the two updates, and basically all the other things are the same as the MK2 version. Let me mention that this EX version, that stands for expandable, for example, or expansion, the capability is that you can also expand and use the Boss MK2, which has mono effects, with another Katana MK2 and using both as a stereo, so you can have stereo effects. You can do that with the expansion here, connect another foot switch of another Boss Katana MK2, so controlling 2 different amplifiers. About all the connection, you can connect up to 3 different expression pedals, so you can control also via MIDI lot of things. You can use 2 different expression pedal, or 3, because the third one is shared and you can place it as an expander for your another foot switch or for another expression pedal with this tiny switch. So let me connect my guitar and let me show you how this Boss Katana MK2 EX sounds with the microphone, because you have a really great speaker inside, and then I'll show you also connected to a computer and how to manage all the presets. Okay, so right now I'm connected directly to the amplifier. I've prepared 5 different sounds that you can download also through the Tone Exchange. You can find my presets searching for Mad Sticks. Okay, let me show you some sounds. This is the first sound and has been made with the acoustic amplifier with the variation on. This is really pristine clean. It's not really for electric guitar, because the acoustic amplifier is not a simulator, it's really an acoustic amplifier for your acoustic guitar. But I think it sounds really great with electric guitars. Okay, I can change the sound, basically switching to the second, and this is a sound with a really clean amplifier for normal clean. There is a tremolo. Of course, you have all the effects here, all the equalizer settings, gain, volume, and here you have the power control. I don't want to deep dive it too much here because it's basically the same as the Katana MK2, so it's not a new amplifier. There are some updates in this amplifier. So all the LEDs that you can see here are clickable, so you can change the effects. Let's switch to the third sound. This is like a really high gain sound. As you can listen, there is a gate that is working really well. Even if here on the panel you cannot see any gate, because all these sounds has been made through the Tone Studio software and then imported in this amplifier. Let's go now to the fourth sound. This is like an Yngwie Malmsteen style, so it's really marshy sound but really dark. I can change the reverb. This is a spring. So now I want to engage my fifth preset. How can I do that? Well, you have double layer in this full switch. So now I can switch between 1, 2, 3, and 4, but I want to engage the second layer. How to do that? I have to press and hold the panel. Now is blinking, as you can see, and it's telling me that I'm in the second layer. So I have again 1, 2, 3, and 4, but on the second layer, so are different. Remember, the first one was the clean sound, now it's different. This is a sound that I've prepared for this demo, and it's like a plexi sound. So really tight. Now, how to control all these gold kind of label and also this tiny label, because everything you can control with this foot switch. Now, let's, for example, control the gold kind of label. How to do that? Well, you have to press the function 1. As you can see now, the LED is changing the color. Now it's green, and it's telling me that the reverb is on, and I can now bypass it. The same for the booster. So really simple. But now I want to control, for example, the tap tempo and the booster solo. So let me show you. I want to go to a preset with, of course, the delay, so I can show you. So let's switch again to the first layer, and let's go, for example, to the first one. Okay. Okay, now let's press and hold function. Now again, it's blinking the function, so it's telling me that I'm in the second layer of the function, which is the really tiny labeling. So booster solo, pedal effects, loop, tap 1 and tap 2. I have a delay, so let's tap the delay. Pam, pam, pam. I want... It's lower. Even slower. Remember that you can engage everything if you have placed that sound, so that specific effects in the routing. So in the studio software, the preset should have that effect. Otherwise, you can engage, but there is nothing in the preset, okay? Okay, so I can go again on the second channel. Go to the function and change the delay faster. Maybe is the delay on the second. I don't remember where I placed it, because you can have two different delays. Yes, it is one. Another thing that you can do with the foot switch is the solo. So basically you can bump in the volume whatever you want and with whatever kind of a channel. So for example, I have this channel. I want to make a solo, I can press and hold. Now it's blinking. More volume. And basically you can do that with all the patches and avoiding to create another preset with other volumes. So you can engage volume only for that kind of preset that you are using in that moment. So for example, I want to use my metal preset. But I have to do an harmonic with my second lead guitarist. In that moment I press. Of course, remember that also the solo can be programmed and you can decide how is the amount of volume changing depending on the patches. Okay, so for example, on this rhythm you can change the volume for 20%, for another patches you can change the volume for 50%, and so on and so forth. Let me show you now how to use the Boss with the software. Okay, so I've connected the Boss MK2 Katana to the computer. I've downloaded the Boss Tone Studio software, and as you can see you have the same replication of the above panel, so you can tweak everything, changing the amplifier, changing the variation, and so on and so forth, so you can create your own sound. As you can see, you have different kind of effects. Color here for the LED. This means that here you can customize all the 15 effects you want to place on board your unit and bring with yourself. So for example, for the booster here I can engage different type of pedals, for example metal zone for the green when it's engaged, or I can also change it and choose whatever I want, or for example tube screamer and distortion. So when I switch to the amplifier, and I can also control of course with the foot switch, I can engage different presets and different effects. Remember that you have 65 effects inside the Tone Studio that you can tweak and choose, and on board you can bring with yourself 15 of these effects. Then as you can see you have the chain, and you can switch between different chains here. For example, you want to bring the amplifier before the modulation or after the effects, so you can choose different chain. And as you can see, this can be done per each patch, because as you can see here you have the different patches that I have on board on my amplifier. If I switch to another patch, as you can see is switching also the chain effect, because I've used different kind of chain. Okay, this is really great and super versatile to use. Of course, every kind of effects can be tweaked as a normal pedal. So for example, booster, I can go here and I can choose a different booster I want, and I can tweak every kind of knobs here. So for example, if I change the booster to the red, now it's an overdrive. To the orange or yellow, now it's a distortion, and again to the green I have again an overdrive, so I can customize whatever I want. And this again for the modulation, effects, delay, delay 2, reverb. The solo can be changing everything, maybe also the equalization for the solo part. So when you press and hold your channel, you can engage or not the solo here. This parameter is not in the above panel, but only here. And of course also the tone shaping, all the effects, so on and so forth. But I want to show you the librarian here, because as you can see you can create your own live set to bring with yourself. So for example, you can create with different presets. For example, you don't know how to create presets. Well, you have the community. You can go here to the Tone Central, and here are all the stock and official live set from Boss. So as you can see, you can see different. For example, this one, if you like this one, you can go to add add completed. And now if I go back to my Librarian, as you can see, I have here my live set, and I can bring this to import this into my boss. How to do that? Well, simple. As you can see here, I can export, select live set, for example this one, and I can export to the file if I want to share, because there is the Tone Exchange community that you can download from, or to Katana MK2. So if I press here, I'll overwrite all my tone. I don't want to overwrite right now. And the last thing that I want to show you is the system here. As you can see here, you have these line out settings, and this is really important to control the sound feeling of the line out. However, you cannot disengage completely the cabinet simulation. It's just a bit limited in this part, so you can control between rec, live or blend with these custom settings. So for example, you can choose the microphone and the position, but the cabinet is kind of like the same kind of sound of this Katana speaker. I want to show you with some sounds, okay? So let me show you how to use this Boss MK2 EX like an audio interface, because with the USB output you can record directly in silent mode. So how to do that? For example, here I can go to my Presonus Studio One. So this is my DAW. I can create a track, and of course I have to control my input and output. Of course, here I have my Arturia Mini Fuse 2. This is only for a monitoring purpose and to listening here in my environment, okay? I can also record directly with the USB, but I have to listen from something, okay? So because there is no the out, I can use the line out, for example, and go directly to a PA system, but here if I want to use some monitor, I have to use my own interface. So for recording, I'll place my Katana. Okay, so I'm listening the USB from my Katana, and from the playback I want to listen from my audio interface. Let's place the sample low, 64 is okay. Let's press OK. Okay, I can use 1 or 2 is the same because it's a line output. Let's listen if I have some sounds. I should have some sound. Yes, but I will listen also from the speaker. So I'll place the power control to standby. So there is no any sound here. As you can listen, no any sound. I can raise a bit here. Okay, now this sound can be tweaked from the Tone Studio, of course. I have my Tone Studio open here. I can change, for example, the sound. Okay, but I want to show you the differences that there are on the line output. So let me go here to the system, and here I can choose between the rec, which is the same basically as the speaker, live, basically it sounds like flatter sound, so it seems like without a speaker, but is still equalized. Or I can use the custom sound. So for example, I can choose 2 different presets, for example with the ribbon, the distance and the position of the microphone. Dynamic. You can control the power amp, all the global EQ. This is really important. You can customize 3 different global EQs as you want and bring with yourself, so you can change the global EQ also depending of the kind of guitar you use on the live situation. So guys, This is a really versatile amplifier. It's a solid-state amplifier, combo amplifier, super stable, super reliable, and it's really loud. So in a 50 watts position, it's really loud. You can use in whatever kind of environment, bedroom volume, or for practicing, or for live gig, or for club, so you can really stay above a drummer. So guys, this was Fabio for Higher Heads Project. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.